Have you ever been to a place where the trees hum a happy tune and the flowers giggle when you tickle their petals? Close your eyes. Let's imagine one together. We are going to the Wiggle Wobble Woods. Sunshine like warm honey on your skin. The leaves are not just green, sparkly pink leaves, brilliant blue leaves, polka dot leaves. Swish, swoosh, swish. Can you make that sound with me? Streams bubble and burble with laughter. Giggle, gurgle, giggle, gurgle. Moss as soft as a fluffy bunny's tail. Thump, 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 thump. Fresh rain, sweet strawberries, a hint of cinnamon toast. Adventures around every corner. The most special thing is the friends who live here. They have a secret. They can change their shape. Let's tiptoe into the woods and see if we can find them. The first friend we meet is Barnaby the bear. But he isn't always a bear. Poof. He can turn into a giant bouncy ball to roll down the hills. But he gives the best, biggest, roundest hugs in the whole wide world. Next, slinking through the tall, stripy grass, is Slink the snake. Now he's a long green vine hanging from a tree, or coil himself up into a tight, springy spiral. Boyoyoing!
Boo! He whispers, which sounds more like a gentle hiss.
Hopping along on two very long legs is a flamingo? No, wait, now it's a tall, thin mushroom with pink spots. She can stretch her legs to be as tall as a tree. She is graceful and elegant, and she loves to dance. And who is that peeking out from behind a leaf? It's Pip, the tiniest of the friends. One moment, Pip is a little field mouse. Poof. The next, he is a small, smooth pebble. Then poof again, and he's a busy little beetle. Pip is a bit shy, but very brave. He might be small, but his imagination is enormous. Which shapeshifter would you want to be friends with? Barnaby as a round bear, Slink as a long green snake, Florence as a tall flamingo, and Pip as a tiny mouse, all waving hello.
Let's play hide and squeak. I'll be the seeker. You all have to hide, and when I find you, you have to squeak.
1, 2, 3. The others scurried away, giggling. The game had begun. Pip the mouse saw a bright red ladybug crawling on a leaf. Poof! In a flash, Pip wasn't a mouse anymore. He had turned into a ladybug too. He scurried right next to the real one. Shiny red back, little black dots. He held his breath and tried not to wiggle. Some insects, like stick insects, look just like twigs to hide from hungry birds. By blending in, they become almost invisible. Pip was doing the exact same thing. Meanwhile, Slink slithered up the trunk of a tall, twisty tree. He made his skin look exactly like the brown, bumpy bark of the tree. He stayed perfectly still, looking just like any other vine. Florence, the tall flamingo, had a different idea. She waded into a patch of tall, pink flowers. She pulled in her neck. She stood on one leg. She transformed into a beautiful pink flower herself. She looked just like the others, swaying gently in the breeze.
Ready or not, here I come.
He searched and searched, but the shapeshifters were very good at this game.
What a lovely pair of ladybugs.
Barnaby searched and searched, but he couldn't find anyone. He was starting to feel a little bit grumpy. He sat by the giggling stream, his big, round shoulders slumped. A little green frog hopped onto a lily pad in front of him. The frog had a mischievous twinkle in its eye.
It was Pip! Squeak! He chirped. A ribbit squeak.
I found you! Barnaby roared with laughter. You were a frog, how clever!
A long green reed near the bank wiggled. It wiggled. It jiggled until it turned back into Slink. Suddenly, a pink water lily in the middle of the stream stood up. Whoosh! It was Florence. Hooray! Clapped Barnaby. Finding friends was much more fun than being grumpy. Some animals, like the octopus, are masters of changing themselves. An octopus can change its color. It can change skin texture. It can look like a bumpy rock or a smooth piece of seaweed. Squish, squelch. It squeezes its body into tiny cracks to hide. They all splashed, sending droplets flying. Splish, splash, splosh. Now there was only one problem. But where were the honeydoodle berries for their picnic? When they went back, the basket was gone. All that remained was a trail of sticky little footprints into the deeper woods.
Oh no! Gasped Pip. Someone has taken our picnic.
The friends looked at each other. A new adventure was beginning.
Follow those footprints, declared Florence.
The sticky tracks were easy to spot on the green moss. Squish, squelch, squish. They led away from the sunny meadow into the woods where the trees grew closer together. Slink, being long and slithery, was perfect for tracking. He lowered his head and followed the scent. Pip thought for a moment. Then poof. He had become a long, slinky, brown earthworm. He squirmed under the sharp, thorny branches. And sitting next to it, with sticky red juice all over his face and paws, was a small, furry creature.
It was a forest monkey, but not one they had ever seen before. He was chattering to himself.
He looked up and saw Pip the worm and let out a tiny squeak of surprise. He hadn't meant to be seen.
Pip quickly wiggled back under the bush to his friends. I saw him, he whispered.
Barnaby let out a low grumble. He had been looking forward to that picnic. Florence patted his arm. Now, Barnaby, he's only little. Maybe he was just very, very hungry. As Barnaby the balloon floated gently above the bush, the sky began to darken. A big dark shadow fell over the woods. Whoosh! It was something big, with wide wings. High above them, circling in the sky, was a huge eagle. It had sharp eyes and a pointy beak. The little monkey shivered and tried to hide back under the bush. The eagle was looking for its lunch. The fun adventure had suddenly become a little bit scary. The eagle swooped lower. Screech! Its cry echoed through the trees. The friends knew they had to do something, and quickly.
Slink had an idea. Quickly, he hissed. We need to make a distraction.
Florence nodded bravely. She began to dance, her long legs kicking and twirling. She changed her shape, her pink feathers becoming sparkly and iridescent. She transformed into a dazzling, spinning firework of colors. Whiz, pop, sparkle. The eagle paused its dive, confused by the flashing lights below. It was working.
I have an idea.
We can't hide the monkey, so let's hide the whole clearing. Slink nodded and immediately began to change. He stretched and grew, branching out in a dozen directions. His green skin became covered in big, wide leaves. Rustle, rustle, stretch. Pip scurried around, changing shape as he went. Poof. He became a patch of green moss to cover a bare spot on the ground. Poof. He turned into a cluster of brown mushrooms to fill another gap. Some animals, like the chameleon, are famous for changing color to match their surroundings. Florence saw what they were doing and changed her shape too. She transformed into a tall, droopy willow tree. The little monkey, seeing what was happening, scurried under the new leafy roof that Slink was creating. From the sky, the eagle would no longer see a clearing with a monkey in it. It would just see more of the forest floor, a jumble of leaves, moss, and branches. The eagle circled one last time, confused. It let out one last frustrated screech and flew away. Down below, the friends slowly changed back to their normal shapes. The little monkey peeked out, his eyes full of gratitude. He chattered happily, a sound of thanks. The little monkey, whose name was Milo, was so thankful that he promised to find them a whole new basket of the sweetest honeydoodles in the entire woods. The friends had not only found their berry thief, but they had also made a new friend and had a thrilling adventure. Barnaby the bear, Slink the snake, Florence the flamingo, Pip the mouse all agreed that it had been a very exciting day. They learned that working together was the most powerful magic of all, and that even a scary situation can be solved with a bit of clever thinking. As the sun began to set, casting long, sleepy shadows through the wiggle-wobble woods, the friends said goodbye to Milo and headed for home. They talked about all the amazing shapes they had turned into. A ladybug, a flower, a hot air balloon, and even a whole roof of leaves. Nature is full of amazing animals that can do similar things. Octopuses that change color, stick insects that look like twigs, and flounders that blend in with the sandy ocean floor. The world is full of wonderful, shape-shifting, camouflaging magic if you just know where to look. What about you? If you were a shapeshifter in the Wiggle Wobble Woods, what would your name be? And what would your special shape-shifting power be? Maybe you could turn into anything blue, or anything that can fly, or anything that is soft and fluffy. You could have adventures just like Barnaby, Slink, Florence, and Pip. You could play the best games of hide and squeak and help out friends who are in trouble. Your imagination is the most magical power you have, and it can take you anywhere you want to go. So tonight, when you are tucked in bed, maybe you can close your eyes and visit the Wiggle Wobble Woods. Or maybe you can draw a picture of your very own shape-shifting animal. What does it look like? What shapes can it turn into? The next adventure is just waiting for you to imagine it. And who knows, maybe Barnaby, Slink, Florence, and Pip will be there waiting to play a new game with you.